Thank you, Jeff. And time now to go on the docket with our legal analyst, John Patrick Dolan.
Yeah, tonight we're going to talk about the Supreme Court in California and, of course, the U.S. Supreme Court. John, good evening as always. Let's talk about SCOTUS a little bit, finally taking a gay marriage case, or a gay equal marriage case.
I think, Gino, this is what they call leading from behind.
Right.
37 states have legalized gay marriage. DOMA has been found unconstitutional, and the Supreme Court has taken up the question of whether or not it's a violation of constitutional rights to prevent gay marriage. I think this is one of those cases where we could pretty well guess what the opinion's going to be between now and June.
Okay, so let's guess. What's the opinion going to be?
They're going to say that it's unconstitutional to prevent two individuals from uniting in matrimony just because they happen to come from the same sex, as 38 states have already done. If they don't make that decision, it creates a mess in the 37 states where gay marriage is already legal, because then you would have the questions of whether or not you could go from one state to the other, and would your marriage survive that? Do we have full faith and credit recognition state by state, etc.? I think basically, because of the trends and because of the numbers that you see in the polling, there's no question that the Supreme Court is going to say unconstitutional to prevent two individuals of the same sex from being married.
5-4, and will Kennedy be the swing vote here?
I think you might find this one be closer to 8-0. Maybe there's a couple of people that are going to object for some reason, but frankly, I really think this is one of those cases where you might see a united Supreme Court.
Another interesting subject to be considered is that California lawmakers, John, now pursuing the right to die legislation in the wake of Brittany Maynard. We know that she was living in San Francisco. She was diagnosed with a terminal illness and had to go to Oregon to end her life back in November. And she said all along she shouldn't have had to do that. She should have been able to stay in California and do that here. So do you think we'll have the right to die legislation pass here in the state?
I think it will. I think her case spurred the legislation, but you might have noticed there's very little outcry from the religious or the medical communities. I think that legislation is going to pass. The polls show that it's highly supported in the 70% of those who've been polled. And frankly, it's probably something that's time has come, just like gay marriage.
And there will be caveats as well.
Of course, there'll always be restrictions and rules.
Yeah.
All right, real quick before we go, John, you're hiring a bunch of new sharks, is that right?
California Desert Trial Academy College of Law begins its 6th semester tomorrow. Our inaugural class will take the California bar exam in July of 2016.
You're so proud. You beam when you talk about it.
Because
you know what?
This
It's
world
just
needs
great.
is more lawyers, John.
Well, you know, there's a lot of baby boomers that are retiring. We don't want to run out of lawyers here in the Coachella Valley.
That's right, and there's always room at the top.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, sir.
John.